Hey, welcome back to another Rex Media Log. These are the vlogs where I discuss things that I have been enjoying recently: anime, movie, TV show, comic books, music, video games, etc. And I give kind of opinions of stuff that I've been checking out recently, so stuff that I've been checking out in order. So let's get into it. So Jujutsu Kaisen 0. So I watched season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it was last year. I thought it was really cool. I liked it a lot. I've been planning to watch season 2. I know they released a movie in between them. I know the movie is canon. It deals with some like prequel stuff, so I was like, I want to check this out, and I liked it. I quite like this movie. It's essentially just like a bunch of like setup for some like fight sequences and some action sequences at the end, but like honestly what it builds up to and that climax is really super fun and creative, so I was along for the ride in that. I do kind of like this sort of thing we have going at the moment with anime, where we have these like, you know, Demon Slayer's obviously like really leading the charge with it. You've got it now with Chainsaw Man. You've got it with, I guess you could say like One Piece Film Red to an extent. But you've got these like, you know, more premium canonical movies, not just like the anime characters go to Anime Funtime Island and it means nothing. So I think this is kind of cool, where they're kind of looking at stuff, and I know it's obviously financial because there's like a ton of money to be made, but they're looking at, you know, what arcs and what stories and whatever are best suits for like seasons, and of what length of the season, and what's suited as a movie, and all that kind of thing. It does kind of make me think though that some things will just like convert to movies because that's where the money is. You know, like, is that going to be the future of Dan to Dan? Is that going to be the future of things like Solo Leveling? We'll talk about Solo Leveling in the future. I'm not a big Solo Leveling fan. But anyway, I thought this was fun. It was cool. Late to the party on it, but cool. Super late to the party on this, man. Super late to the party. Dude, there's one thing you might know about Rex, is Rex likes to be a part of the zeitgeist, the cultural zeitgeist. Rex likes to kind of talk about what's happening, you know, what's popular at the moment, be involved in that conversation. Like, you know, I think it's important to be like attached to culture and where the general culture is at the time. At least it is for me. I think it kind of helps you give it helps you connect with more people and give you an understanding of what people's interests are, or where the temperature is at the moment of society. So this was very popular X years ago. I know it was still pretty popular, you know, for the more recent runs and whatever, but I finally checked out Squid Game. I'm late to the party on Squid Game, but I finally checked out Squid Game. Season 1. And I understand the hype behind it. I honestly understand the hype behind it. The characters are like super easy to get behind and support. I thought that one episode with like the marbles, I can't remember what the term was for like buddies when you were kids, but I thought that one episode with the marbles was sick. And one of the most interesting episodes of TV I've seen in like quite a while. Obviously, it's got its own flavor because it's South Korean and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I understand the hype. I will watch the remaining episodes. When I will do that, I don't know, but they are definitely on the list. Okay. Star Wars. So you maybe do or don't know this about Rex, but Rex is a very, very big Star Wars fan. I'm kind of grandfathered in. You know, my obsession from Star Wars comes from, you know, that sort of like magical EU era that was like, you know, like just before the prequels, like, you know, like special edition time, when we were getting like, you know, like the Zahn books and the Rogue Squadron books and Shadows of the Empire multimedia project. Then we get to the prequels, and that's the right age for the prequels, so I really dug the prequels. Let me take a drink of water real quick because I'm talking real fast. What a drink. Yeah, it's like real time for the prequels, really dug all that. I had like a complete Star Wars Kenner / Hasbro action figure from the first toy of, you know, 1978 Luke Skywalker all the way up to I think, dude, about like figure was 400 the Boba Fett? 400 or 500? Basically, like the first 30 years, like 77 to 2007, I had like every 3 3/4 inch action figure. And a lot of the vehicles. I'm a huge Star Wars guy. Huge Star Wars guy. Don't love the new era. The specific things I really like about it, I think Andor is really, really good. I really like Andor a lot. And I thought that like the Clone Wars revival when they brought it back for the final season, I thought that was really good, especially that last batch of episodes, the Siege of Mandalore. I like Mandalorian season 1 a lot. After that, it kind of dips and dips and dips for me. But and then the rest of it is like, I can take or leave some sort of stuff. Like, I do think that like Last Jedi has some interesting ideas. I wouldn't say there's anything that I really like hate in the new Star Wars. It just doesn't like hit it for me. Apart from kind of like those things, like Andor I thought was really, really special, and I like some of that other stuff, as I said, and then other stuff, it's like up and down for me. It's up and down for me. I definitely don't have the Star Wars obsession I used to, where I was like thinking about it like literally like every moment of every day for like a huge proportion of my life. It would come up in some regard, and I would just be surrounded by Star Wars everywhere. That's kind of relaxed. I do still follow it like pretty deeply though. Because as I said, I'm sort of like grandfathered in. I'm just like, I'm in there for life. So I still read a lot of the comic books, I still read a lot of the novels, I will still watch everything that comes out. I like Visions. I think we got a new volume of Visions coming out soon, so we'll talk about Visions. But this is a multimedia project, The High Republic. So the idea of The High Republic was, okay, let's pick a period of time that's like close enough to like Star Wars timeline so it kind of looks like Star Wars, but it's far away enough that we can like make a story and we can do a bunch of stuff. So this is like 100 years before Attack of the Clones, I think. Attack of the Clones. Phantom Menace, it's like 100 years before that. So like Yoda's still there and still like an old guy and on the council. It still kind of looks like prequel-y Star Wars stuff, but like slightly different. And they basically release these, it's kind of like Shadows of the Empire, where they release like comic books and novels and occasionally like TV or animated. They haven't done video games yet, but like, they release all these different things to tell the story. And they release them in kind of like phases, like a kind of like a Marvel thing. So it's like phase 1, it's like this one big story, and then move to phase 2, which is another big story, and whatever. And this comic here, Fear of the Jedi, is like a finale to like a whole, well, no, it's not. It's part of a finale of another bigger story going on. So like, it's supplementary. Basically, like, the battle that's being told here is being told in the, like, the main story of this battle is happening within, like, some novels. And then this is, like, comic book supplementary stuff of some of the other characters and what they're doing or whatever. So I think it's really difficult to do what is, like, promoted as, like, this big finale and telling the story of a battle that's fully told somewhere else. It's just like, this is just the absolute definition of supplementary and just like not needed and unnecessary. And Star Wars comics have been really like varying in quality for like a very long time. It even goes back to like the Dark Horse stuff, like before Disney. Like Star Wars comics have always really been like pretty damn hit and miss. But sometimes there's some gems that come out in this new era. This isn't really it. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's kind of unnecessary. And you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, what we got here? We got the new record by our good friends Benefits, Constant Noise, this is called. And oof, this is like so freaking like, this is an album that's like written and recorded this year. And what I mean by that is like the subject matter it's getting into. Like the lyricism about talking like sort of like issues of today. I mean, it's really on the nose, it's really direct. It's like you don't have to like think about it. It's just like, oh dude, this is what's happening. And you might say that kind of like lacks a little bit of artistry, but at the same time, it's just like I think that's clearly what they set out to do here, and it's just like they want to like get their manifesto, get their message, get their point of view, get their struggle like across. It's just like as direct as possible and not get anything sort of like lost in the fuzz. There's a lot of cool guest vocalists on this. The composition, a lot of the music is like super like ethereal and like crazy level mesmerizing. I don't know. I think this is great. Check it out. Even if you like, maybe just like check out like the big singles from it, because some of the stuff is maybe like a bit weird and inaccessible. But I don't know. Check it out, and then at least like you'll feel like you're being touched by an artistic force. Whether you like it or not is something different, but like, I don't know. Keeper! I like this a lot, man. So Double Fine Games, who, dude, I think they're gonna get axed by, like, like Microsoft game studios, they just like destroy studios all the time. I worry about the safety of Double Fine. But that said, I don't really know much about Double Fine. I just know their reputation of them meant to be sick. I know Psychonauts is meant to be sick. I know Psychonauts 2 is meant to be sick. I haven't played these games. But like I saw this like dropped on Game Pass and I was like, oh hey, it's like a 4 or 5 hour game, whatever. And it's from Double Fine. So I was like, dude, I'll check that out. I will dip my toes in this. I'll spend a couple of days on some of the streams playing Keeper. And you're like a sort of like sentient lighthouse with like spider legs, and you have this bird, and you're traveling across the land, kind of like restoring sort of like nature and community and order. I don't know. The message of it is still like being processed in my head of what it all means. So I'm still kind of processing what it all means, but I think just like if we're just going to talk about like the artistic like quality of this and like how it like kind of looks like a stop motion thing, and it's got a real art style and a real like it all, like all that stuff kind of comes together, I think it's really worth your time. You know, one of those games kind of like Journey or like Sword in the Sea, which I think we talked about in the previous. No, we didn't. That predates me doing Media Log. But like, you know, Sword in the Sea or Journey or Flower and like these kind of games, I like this a lot. I need to like go and I need to check out freaking Psychonauts. I need to like move that up the list and get that kind of checked out as soon as possible. Okay, Pokemon Legends ZA. Again, Pokemon is the thing that I've been obsessed with for an incredibly long time. Kind of like the Star War. My interest does wane in Pokemon when we get to like the post Black and White. Like X and Y, I never finished. Sun and Moon, I never played. Sword and Shield, I came to really late. But then like from like, because I didn't get a Switch at launch, but like, you know, so I did dip out in interest for a bit for like various reasons, and I think it's kind of just because of like repeating elements of the past, and I like the new stuff. Like I think Black and White is like the best Pokemon game because it's just like Viagra. Do you know what I mean? It was just like everything new, everything different, very exciting, peak of the 2D sprite art style, all that kind of thing. And I think kind of post then they've been like a bit messy. And I think they've really struggled to put games on in 3D. I think they've really struggled to put games on consoles. I will say that I really, really love Legends Arceus. I find that so fun because I'm a gotta catch 'em all guy. I like the collecting part. I like filling the Pokedex. I like all of that kind of jazz. And I really liked Arceus. I really like chucking balls at stuff. I really like kind of the semi-real-time elements or whatever. I thought that was super fun. I liked that the Pokemon attacked you. I thought that was fun. And yeah, so I was like, okay, cool, we're doing Legends is like a thing now. They're doing more Legends games. I'm into that. This one, I will say I was knocking everything on the floor here. I was like less hyped for because it was like the X and Y region. It was France. I care less about that. So that kind of like turned down the hype a little bit. And then also the fact that the game takes place in like one city. I don't like that. I don't like that the game's just in like one location. I think that's really lame. You can talk about the graphics or whatever or what have you, but I thought that the whole game taking place in one location, like, I like the adventure. I like catching the Pokemon. So I had the catching the Pokemon here, and the catching the Pokemon here was sick. It was still fun. Running around chucking balls and stuff, that's still fun. That's still super fun. I like that. I like that a lot. So that part of the adventure is real loud. The part of the adventure of, like, you know, going across distant lands or whatever, not here. And so that's disappointing for me, just being in one city. I will say I really like the new battle mechanics. I think that's really fun. I think keep doing cool, different stuff like that in the frickin' Legends games. I'm up for that. I think that's sick. You can have your you know, turn-based stuff in homed in Champions and you know, maybe in the main gen games. But I think doing different stuff like that, the combos, the combat with the cooldowns, I thought that was really fun. I think the big mega encounters are super, super fun. I need them to put those big mega raids on the online, make really challenging ones where you need to pick your team right, and you do it with buddies online. I think that would be sick. Kind of make it like Monster Hunter. You know what I mean? Kind of like Monster Hunter. Like, honestly, those raids, those like rogue mega evolutions, they just got me thinking, like, dude, make a Pokemon Legends like Monster Hunter game where you have to like go online, you have to make a team, and you have to like really pick your make it really hard, make it challenging, so you have to pick your team like tactically and not just kind of brute force it, and have people have different roles, and then you've got to like go through the land, and you just got regular smaller Pokemon, a couple alpha Pokemon, and then a big mega raid at the end. I think it would be peak. Like this game, found it really fun, did not like it being in one location. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. This game is poop. This game is poop. This game is poop. This game is poop. Okay, so for the past like 4 years or whatever, me and Arisu Unicorn, who sometimes appears on this channel, wearing a vulture fursuit, we've been playing through every single Resident Evil game. This is the end of that, so I think there's like 28 games or something. Like, I'm talking everything, like every numbered entry, whether it's original or remake, the Game Boy Color game, the Revelations games, the light gun shooter games on the Wii, the, you know, Code Veronica, like Umbrella Corps, like we're talking like every Resident Evil game. I think there's like 28 when you count them up, like 28 or 29. This was the last one we needed to play through. We were playing on PlayStation 3 servers. The game is just like a generic third-person shooter thing, but just like, look, there's the RPD, look, there's the Umbrella Lab. It's poop, but whatever, harmless poop. We had a nice time playing with Brazilians online. It's kind of fun. Okay, Pokemon movie, I think this is movie 10? Movie 10, I think this is called Giratina and the Sky Warrior. Or something like that. Again, for the past 4 years or so, me and Arisu have been watching we've been watching all the Pokemon in order. So we're watching the anime, and then when the movies come out, we watch the movies, and blah, 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 blah. So we're like 10 or 11 seasons into Pokemon in 4 years. I think we're like coming up to the halfway point. Anyway, this is the latest movie we watched. It's fine. It's whatever, you know. I really like this comment that Arisu made where she said there's 2 different types of Pokemon movies. There is Ash like gets to ride a dragon, or they carry a small legendary Pokemon to a place. This was they carried a small legendary Pokemon to a place. Also very funny, we went on my Nintendo DS after this, and I have the Shaman from this movie that I got an event when this movie released on my DS. Like, it says original trainer movie 10, I think. I got that, which is kind of, I think that's kind of cute. I think it's kind of funny. Okay, so next we've got the record Bleeds by the band Wednesday. This is honestly some of my favorite rock that's being like put out at the moment. Like, I especially like, and it kind of like, it rides through rock as well. There's a lot of sort of like slowcore stuff in it, which I really sort of connected to. Especially the lyricism is like, dude, like I was talking about that record just before of like the lyrics just being like so direct and just like, here's my point. There's like, these are ones where you're thinking about lines over and over, and they're like layered and stuff like that. So I don't know, if you want to check out like some rock music that's maybe like a little bit different at the moment, maybe check out this Bleeds by Wednesday. Maybe check it out. I think it's always cool just like check out like new bands or, you know, like current bands and stuff like that, and see what's kind of going on in these different scenes and stuff. So I think it's worth checking out for sure. Okay, this is weird. So they randomly, like, they've been releasing this like fortnightly. So they're releasing like one episode every 2 weeks, which has been pretty slow and made the season feel really truncated. It got delayed twice. I think once because of the merger, the Paramount merger, and then it got delayed again because like they were clearly going to do a bunch of Charlie Kirk stuff, but then that like assassination happened. So it's kind of felt a bit like truncated, and it's just like every week is like, oh, is South Park on or is it isn't, you know, or is it isn't, or is it not? Yeah. So. Anyway, then when it got to episode 6, like after 5 episodes, they just went, oh, it's season 28 now. So I guess like this season has ended. I think it's because they want to like match up the 30th season number with the 30th anniversary year. It's coming up in like 2 years' time. So they can make like a big deal of that and be like, South Park 30th season. I think that's what they're doing here. So they just randomly split this into 2. I think it's all just like semantics, so whatever. But it just means I'll be talking about season 29 in like a month's time. that's just what it is. Season 28, sorry, in like a month's time. So anyway, South Park season 27. It's only like 5 episodes. There's not much to talk about. There's some fun moments in it. I think South Park's like pretty consistently good for what it is. I think its peak is long behind us, but I do think it is very consistently funny. The peak's always going to be the movie. The movie's just like so good and timeless, and it should have won Oscars for that music. Okay, Cyberpunk. I think I said either it was last in episode 1, or it was episode 2 or episode 1. I know it was on the past freaking media log episodes. I talked about Cyberpunk 2077. I talked about how I really enjoyed that game. Well, guess what? I have been reading RPG source books of like Cyberpunk 2020, and I also like, oh dude, let's like get into the, and I'll comment on those after I've got more to, you know, say about those. But they're not like done yet. Done. I read the first published Cyberpunk 2077 comic. It seems like they still put them out. It seems like there's one's coming out at the moment. They just do like mini-series of different things. This one's called Trauma Team, and it's about the Trauma Team, which you see in the game, who are the ambulance service. And I liked it. I think the art style was really cool. I thought the art style was really cool, and I think it gave you that like kind of. It gave me the feel. It gave me the same feel that I got from playing the game and the visuals and stuff like that. I think there's the fact they're depicting like different jobs and different aspects, and Night City is like freaking horrific. Being a paramedic, that's horrible. I do think I like that. It gets you thinking. You know what I mean? It gets you thinking about like society. It gets you thinking about how bad things can get or have already gotten. I like that. I like that it doesn't kind of like glamorize cool futuristic world. So I like that about it. I will say like the middle of it got kind of like, it kind of lost its. I thought like issue 1 and issue 5 I think were like really good. Maybe like issue 2 or something. I think there's like the middle section, like the second acty kind of section was like, it kind of off the rails a little bit and lost its grounding. But I don't know if that's also a consequence of like the art style, because sometimes art styles can like make things look less realistic, and I think I'm just used to Cyberpunk feeling very grounded and realistic in the game. Although I accepted the stylized stuff in the anime. I don't know. I think this was pretty good. I think if you like Cyberpunk, it's more Cyberpunk, and I like Cyberpunk, and I want more Cyberpunk, and I'm gonna keep eating more Cyberpunk. So there we go. Latest episode of Rex Media Log. I'm just gonna, every time I've got like about 10 things to talk about, I'll make one of these and post it up, and please talk to me. Please let me know if any of these things you enjoy as well, or if you've got differing opinions, or if you've got recommendations. It's like, dude, you like this? Check out this. I like that. I do this stuff because I want to talk about stuff that interests me, whether it interests me because it's good or interests me because it's bad, just because it interests me. I want to talk about stuff that interests me with interesting people. So do get in touch. And if you want to see us, the video game stuff, like when we talked about The Keeper, and we talked about Pokemon there, we stream those. So if you want to see these things happen in real time, hang out in the streams here on YouTube or on twitch.tv/RoxRebelheart. Try and keep the schedule updated so you know when stuff's happening. And if you want to see the media log in real time, I post little opinions of these things as and when I check them out on both my Telegram, which can be found in the description below, and also on Discord. We've got a Discord server, and there's a channel there called Rex Media Log. Anyway, peace out.